Bruchim haboim. Welcome everyone. We're about to begin Be'ezras Hashem together, Masechet Yoma. It's pronounced Yoma, but indeed it's Yoma, the day, that very day called Yom HaKippurim, which is the Masechta is Soivev, is surrounding by. That's the day of the great atonement for Klal Yisrael. It's told that the Brisker Rav Zatzal was on his deathbed on Erev Yom HaKippurim. He begged HaKadosh Baruch Hu to keep him alive just one more day, so he can be zoichet to the kapar of Itzumo Shel Yom of Yom HaKippurim. The Maseches discusses, certainly the first parak, beginning with 7 days before Yom HaKippurim, where the Kohen Gadol is separated, since he is the only one who can perform the Avodas Yom HaKippurim. Then he is separated 7 days before, just in case he was with his wife and found out to be a nida, he would be tamei for 7 days, whereby he would be then postel to do the avodah. So he's separated for 7 days. The rest of the parak discusses those days that occur in terms of his preparation for Yom HaKippurim, all the way up until Yom HaKippurim itself. The Mishnah begins, Shivas Yomim Koidem Yom HaKippurim, 7 days before Yom HaKippurim, Mafrishin Kohen Gadol Mi Beisoi. We separate the Kohen Gadol from his house, Lelishkas Palhedrin, from the to the chamber of called Palhedrin. Now this chamber was situated in the northern part of the courtyard of the Azara, and there's a double connotation over here. We separate the Kohen Gadol Mi Beisoi Kipshuter from his house, but it also means that we separate him from his wife to go to then the Lishkas, the chamber Parhedrin. Maskinin loy koyin acher tachtov, in order to ensure his purity, because again, if he becomes tamei on the day of Yom HaKippurim, he cannot enter the mikdash and his avodah is posel. So therefore, we make a separate Kohen Gadol to be in his stead, just in case he becomes tamei, and therefore he's going to be the Sgan HaKohanim, the one who is the second in charge. He will then take his place in the event that the Kohen Gadol, for example, sees Keri and he is Tamei to perform the Avodah. Shema Yeraboy Psul. The Mishnah continues, Rabbi Yehuda adds, and he's choylek in the Tanakama by saying, Af Isha Acheres Maskinin Loi Shema Tamus Ishtoi. He says that we will also then appoint him another wife in the event that his wife dies. Why is it necessary that we appoint him a second wife, says Rabbi Yehuda, in case his wife dies? Shenemar, it says in the Pasuk, V'chiper ba'adoi u'ba'ad beisoi. He will then bring atonement for himself and his household. Beisoi zu ishto. Beiso is a reference to his wife, and therefore he must be married at the time of Yom HaKippurim when he does the Avodah. So therefore, in the event that his wife Chalila were to die, it would then poisel the Avodah, whereby Rabbi Yehuda says we insist on making also a second wife in his place. The Gemara will discuss how can you have a second wife in his place. Hare, it says Uba'ad Beiso, which is singular, his wife and not wives. The Gemara will discuss how we get around that problem. Amru loy, the Chacham respond back to Rabbi Yehuda. Im kain ein ledovar soif. If indeed we're going to appoint him a second wife, then maybe the second wife will die. Or you'll have to appoint a third wife. Maybe the third wife will die. And therefore, ein ledovar soif is not necessary to appoint a second wife. The question would be then, according to the Chachamim, who do agree that we do then put aside a second Kohen Gadol in his place in the event that he's Shema Yarei by Psul. So how can we prepare for him a Kohen Gadol in his place? What about the inyan of Ein Ledavar Soif? Maybe the second Kohen Gadol will also get a Psul. So go to Gemara, we'll discuss this as well. The Gemara now brings a Mishnah from Maseches Para, which is going to tell us that when performing the hechsher for the para aduma, the one who was involved in burning the para aduma, as well as in the blood of migmakabel the dam or zarek the dam, all of these need also to be separated 7 days before this is performed. Says the Gemara, Tnan Hasam, it states over there in the Mishnah in Para. Shivas Yomim Koidem Sreifas HaPara. Similar to what we saw in our Mishnah, when a Kohen Gadol has to be separated 7 days before Yom HaKippurim, so too, the one who's going to perform the Hechsher, the Sreifas HaPara, he also has to then be separated 7 days before. Both of them, the Gemara will explain, is learned out from the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was mitzaveh Aaron HaKohen and his children to separate 7 days before the Avodas HaKarbonos of the 8th day of the Miluim. So in that pasuk, it also has a reference to both Yom HaKippurim as well as the Para Aduma. And therefore over here, the Mishnah in Para states that 7 days before the burning of the Para Aduma, he will have to be separated. They would separate the one who is burning the Para Aduma 7 days from his household. And again, it's not only limited to the one who is Sarif, it includes, if he's not the same person, then also the one who's involved in being Mekabel the Dam, for example, or being also Zorek the Dam, but usually it's the same person anyways. The Mishnah goes on to say, Lelishka sha'al pnei habira tzfoina mizracha. Where do they separate him? They separate and put him into a chamber in the northeastern corner of the Azara. The Lishka's Beis Ha'even Haisak Nikres. And this Lishka, this chamber, is called the Beis Ha'even, the stone chamber. The Gemara now asks questions on this Mishnah. V'lama nikra shema Lishka's Beis Ha'even. Why is this chamber called the stone chamber? The Gemara explains, Shekol Maiseh B'chlei Glolim, B'chlei Avonim, U'B'chlei Adomo. Because all of the makings of the Paraduma uses vessels that are either made from Glolim, that's animal dung, or Avonim, from stones, or from Adama, from the earth, what we call clay vessels. Why is that significant? Says the Gemara, my taima, what's the reason? Because as follows, Kivon ditfu yoim kosher bepara. Since the one who is soref the para aduma is kosher to do so when he is somebody who is a tvul yoim. A tvul yom means that he was tameh and he then went into the mikvah. He's called a tvul yoim. That tvul yoim has the status of a tvul yoim, and as a tvul yom he can eat meiser sheni. However, he cannot eat truma. In order to eat truma, for example, he has to wait till Herev Shemesh, until nightfall, even after having been a Tvul Yom. So here it states that in regards to Para Aduma, the Chachamim have a Mesorat from the Sharsha Ba'al Peh, that the one who's performing the Sreifas Para Aduma, he is sufficiently Tohor to be a Tvul Yom. And therefore it states this nan. In Machshirin, it states in the Mishnah, also in Maseches Para, Metamin hayu hakohen, hasorev es hapara, umadbilin oisoi. They would actually actively metame the Kohen Gadol. The Mishnah states over there that one of the Zakenim would then put his hands on the Kohen, the Kohen who was about to soref the Para Aduma. That would make him tamei midrabanan, because since this Zaken was not himself shoimer to the level of the chatos of the Para Aduma, so he was then considered to be tamei. So midrabanan, who's metame, the Kohen who was soref the Para Aduma, and then they would matbil. Then they would have the Kohen who was soref to then be toivil in the mikvah. Lohoitzi, why did they do all of this? Lohoitzi miliban shel tzedukin, in order to then take out from the hearts of the tzedoukin, they believed in the Torah Shebichsav, as the Torah Shebichsav writes kipshutoi, without having the Mesar of the Torah Sheba'al Peh to explain the Torah Shebichsav. And therefore they really have a proper explanation what is meant by the words of the Torah Shebichsav, whereas Klal Yisrael has the Torah Sheba'al Peh that explains is mefares the Torah shebichsav. So the Tzedukim believe that the tahara that was necessary, because the Torah does speak about the ish, the one who is tohor to make the para aduma, they thought that means the tahara of a not only a tvul yoim, but somebody who was actually hariv shemesh. And therefore, shahayu armin b'mu'urove hashemesh haisa nasis. That one who is tohor has to be to the degree of not just a tvul yoim, but hariv shemesh. They have to wait till nightfall. So therefore, the Chachamim, they themselves did all of this in order to then exclude, to take away from the hearts of the tzedaikin this misnomer, this misunderstanding of the Torah's requirement that the one who served the paraduma be somebody who is tohor. And therefore, takinu lo rabbanan klei glalim uklei avonim uklei adama deloy likablu tuma. Therefore, they set aside, and this is going back to the question we asked, why is the lishka called the stone lishka, the stone quarters, stone chambers? Because they were careful that all of the kelim be made either out of stone or out of animal dung or out of clay, which are not mekabel tuma. Because since they Chachamim did allow the tvul yoim, they want to ensure that there wasn't any zilzul in the degree of shmira for the sreifas of the para aduma, and therefore they did all types of chumrois, including having all of the kelim be things that are not mekabel tuma, to ensure that it was understood that this is a high level of tahara. Only they were metame the kohen hasaref to be a tvul yom la'apuke lahotzi miliban shel tzedukim. The Gemara now continues to ask on the Mishnah that we quoted before, why is the lishka, the stone chambers, located in the northeast part of the Azara? Why is that significant? Says the Gemara, Kivan de chatos hi, v'chatos tun in tzofoin. Paradum is referred to, is considered to be a korban chatos, and all kodshe kadoshim is shechted in the tzofoin in the north. So although over here in regards to the paraduma, the same place where it was nisraf, there it's also slaughtered, which is really outside to the east of the Beis Hamikdash, in the area that is really the Har HaZeisim, referred to Har HaMishcha. That is where it was done, but nonetheless it was placed, the Lishka itself, in the northeastern part, the north, because that's where all other chatois were then slaughtered. V'ksiv, it says, bo el noichach pnei oil moed, that it will be sprinkled the paraduma, first the dam of the paraduma, it will be sprinkled noichach pnei oil moed, which is towards the east of the eastern wall of the Azara, and therefore takinu l'rabbanan lishka tzvoina mizracha. Therefore they enacted that the lishka, this stone chamber, should be on the northeastern corner. Should be a hekera to remind the kohen that's involved with the paraduma. They should remind him that it has the status of the chatos. It also has the status of being then sprinkling the blood towards the east, and therefore he'll be very careful in fact doing all the procedures necessary for the paraduma. Now ask the Gemara one final question on this Mishnah. My bira. Why does it state over here? What is this bira that we're talking about? The Mishnah had stated that this lishka that is on the northeastern side, it's indeed placed al ha bira. So what is this bira that is referring to? That it mentions over here in the Mishnah that it's lelishka she'al pnei ha bira tzafoina mizracha. What does it mean? It's in the bira. What is the bira referring to? Omar Rabbi Barachana, Omar Rabbi Yochanan. Makom haya bahar abayis ubira shmoy. Rabbi Yochanan understands bira to mean the place that was on Har Abayis, and its name was bira. In fact, it was located in Har Abayis, and it was called bira. Reish Lakish Omar. Reish Lakish argues, and he says, no. Kol hamikdash kula kari bira. The entire mikdash is called bira. Shneimar, it stays in the pasuk. Habira asher hachinoisi. David HaMelech refers to the bira that I prepared for the Beis HaMikdash. That means the entire mikdash is a reference to the bira.